Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aquarius June 19, 2023. You find it easier than usual to retreat into your personal interests today. You ascent also in fine shape for clarifying a relationship or creative matter. Still, Saturn turns retrograde today, and it will remain retrograde until November 4th. If you feel disconnected from the purpose of the responsibilities brought on by this Saturn transit of your sign, then this cycle could magnify the heaviness or weight of them, even if they have senti changed or increased. In other words, your perception of your responsibilities can alter. It is best to keep in mind the overall purpose of this Saturn transit, that you are learning to rely on yourself and get your life into order. Moderation helps now. Returning to a previous project may be particularly rewarding during this cycle and is more likely to be successful than a brand new one. The heavy load has been upon you since March. Mighty Saturn has been spinning in your solar house of identity and zodiac sign since that time. However, as of today, he is fast asleep in a retrograde phase, which will likely lessen the karmic weight upon you. He is teaching you to be even more intentional about everything you do, especially in your personal and romantic life. Turn within to reflect on the life lessons you've already learned. Brainstorm how you be more practical, honest, and balanced in the journeys ahead. There is so much to discuss. It might be challenging to focus on work when there is juicy gossip and other things to talk about when Mercury in Gemini sextiles Venus in Leo. You may hear more about a coworker's personal life, or this could be an excellent time to open up. But be mindful about what you say when Saturn stations retrograde in your sign. This retrograde will put your growth into perspective, so use it to become a more renowned version of your professional self. The planets still in your income sector after Jupiter left last month have not only become more settled and stable but are in a strong position moving forward, and especially with support from Venus and Mars in your work sector. This will make Ceres return to your financial sector next week a case of perfect timing, for while this will create some competition between income and money matters, you are in a strong enough position that both sides of the financial fence will benefit from this. You see what needs to change in your life, and you are the only one to make the changes. This is an opportune time to literally be the architect of your world. With the alignment at play today, change is probable in places you never would have thought possible. To help keep your energy high, try reducing the calories in your diet. Start by eating lighter meals, and then try to include some of the following in your meals: peas, fennel, parsley, whole grains, and pistachio nuts, good for the lungs. Expect your career goals and ambitions to be on your mind on this day. This can work to your advantage as it helps you to focus on your financial and status dreams. While recognition may not be as important to you as it is to others, making a good living no doubt is. Take a look at the opportunities that you have before you and take a risk every now and then. Such moves on this day are apt to be successful. On the same day that a new moon is making this a day for new beginnings and for looking to the future, Saturn's retrograde turn in Pisces today will also be drawing your attention to the past. Saturn is only just over 3 months into a 3-year visit, and while he turns retrograde once a year, it has been 3 decades since he last turned retrograde in Pisces. This is a chance to review the journey that you have been on since Saturn returned during your birthday month, but this is such early days that this will be less about addressing past issues and more a better chance to understand and appreciate the journey. At the same time that the dwarf planet Ceres has reached her last weekend in your relationship sector, the moon returns for both its monthly visit to your romantic sector and a chance to start lining up for the sun's return last week. This first visit since Venus, the planet of love, left 12 days ago, is also a chance to tap into her romantic influence, just as you reach the final days of Ceres' deep dive into your relationship needs and priorities. Our eyes in the sky. The sun shares a trine with Chiron this afternoon, giving us a chance to reconnect with our true selves and heal our egos a bit. This aspect can also help us reconnect with our voice, so take some time to journal in the morning if you can. This can also help you consolidate your deepest desires with your personal image. You should be able to move through fears and self-doubt in favor of working toward personal goals. Identity and emotion combine to bring us strength and comfort. The fiery energy is putting us into high gear when it comes to motivation. It might be difficult to sleep as you look for ways to work toward a better future. Unfortunately, an opposition between Venus and Pluto threatens to undo some of the good ego work we accomplished earlier in the day. The reality of the effort that we need to put into our dreams might be magnified and bring self-doubt to the surface. If you find these issues coming on, take a step back and relax. If you work well into the night, you might suffer from burnout and begin to question yourself. Drink some herbal tea and get a good night's rest so you can get back to work in the morning. Instead of turning our emotional radar outward, we go inward. This recalibration helps us to make breakthroughs about our character and behaviors. It can even enlighten us as to why we use pattern recognition as a mechanism for safety and security. An interest in our psychological workings will also make us curious about how others tick. Yet, where our probing might ordinarily be considered intrusive, others welcome our questions now, as they are likely conducting their own personal examinations. Following this aspect, the moon enters a void period lasting until after nightfall, suggesting we avoid starting new ventures. As many of us will be asleep at this hour, we should expect pleasant dreams. We may gain subconscious insights of spiritual or moral significance, helping us to tap into our idealistic side. The emotional highs we access should linger after we wake up, and we can take these good vibes with us as we start our day. Venus speaks to how we engage with love on the material plane, while Neptune speaks to how we access transcendent, mystical, divine love. When the two link up in a harmonious aspect, we literally feel love all around us. This aspect grants us gratitude for our circumstances and makes us want to share, connect with, and give back to those who have touched our lives in a positive way. This can also be an excellent transit for listening to music or attending concerts, museums, or films. Above all, this is a time for physical relaxation and mental and emotional thankfulness. Any interpersonal struggles that UOVE tried to cover up float to the surface now, and UOLL have a hard time ignoring them under this self-reflective retro motion.